Namaskara, namaskaram.
Namaskar.
Thank you for firstly giving us this incredible opportunity to meet you in person.
What a wonderful place to
Yes.
meet in. But at the same time, it pains your heart to
yes.
know what has happened to this place.
Our connection with you, ma'am, started when we posted a video about the dying art of Veena making.
Yeah.
And we know that you've always supported Indian classical art and instruments. But we were curious, ma'am, do you personally have a connection with the Veena?
Like I think many of the South Indian families do. I started learning the Veena
Oh,
when
wonderful.
I was in school. Learned it for a couple of years, but didn't afterwards. But I also had a teacher who taught me Sanskrit, and that was in those days called PUC, your 10 plus 2. And that teacher's father was a famous Veena maker in Tiruchi.
Okay.
They had a house, and in the front side of the house and towards one side, they had a Veena making place.
Okay.
That street is called Andar Thiru. Vinay Ramji, the father of my Sanskrit teacher, was a renowned Veena maker.
Okay.
I've been there once or twice when my teacher allowed me to go and see it, and it was fascinating. That has stayed in my mind. But not just for Veena, even the way in which the story of violin making. India doesn't have it so much. Violin comes from outside. But I've had the way in which the violin maintenance, the strings, if they're gone, how do they restore? Also fascinate me, particularly because Lalgudi Jayaramanji and his son and daughter, when he was alive, Lalgudi Jayaraman had laid a foundation for it, and his son and daughter are getting experts from outside. That's what they've told me, if I'm recollecting it right, to service a violin, which is now so much an integral part of Indian classical music. To service the violin, we are getting expertise from somewhere
outside. Right now, we are in a heritage land. Is there a temple that you love purely for its architecture?
There are ever so many. It's so difficult.
Can you tell us? Can you name one, ma'am, for us?
No, Srirangam temple has what a stone carving. Various temples, I would think, in each one. I went to Tirumukkudal. The architecture per se is one thing, but it had a complete wall which said how an Ayurvedic hospital was adjacent to it. What are the kind of herbs which were grown for maintaining it? How much of money was given by, or endowment was given by the king to run the hospital? So, the architecture, the beauty of the sculpting, the history, panning over to health, education, and everything else. Each temple is a marvel.
Everybody knows about big famous temples, but do you have any lesser known temples that you go for peace or say spiritual recharge?
As I said, every one of the place, like this one, today has made me have goosebumps. Literally on so many different count. All said and done, I feel the maximum energy in Nirmala. You just watch him once, you come back. Somewhere inside he's charged you. No, but every temple for that matter, Meenakshi temple, what fascinating architecture. And what planning. That it'll be part of the city, and the praharas will have the particular purpose. And also the Vidis which are around the temple. Named after months, Masi Vidi, Melamasi Teru. Even today we refer but it refers to the month in which, after which it's been named.
So ma'am, let's say we followed you on a spiritual tour in South India. Let's say 3 temples. Which ones would you take us to?
For different purposes, different things. I'll start with Rameshwaram. I heard the Chief Minister of Uttar Pradesh say something which we as a family have always felt. It was amazing the way he put it in a public meeting. He said, I was in Ayodhya recently, so in that context you said you've come here, Ayodhya, but even Sri Ram, and you brought the saints from south to install them here. But even Sri Ram made the first Jyotirlinga, not here in UP, but in Rameshwaram. He said that. It actually underlines the power and the energy of Rameshwaram. And the way in which it abuts the sea. And even better was a bit further, now it's a bit of a drive. The British had made a railway station. And if you go to that Kare, It's amazing
Yes.
where you do Pitru Tarpana and
Yes,
so on
yes.
today. And it connects me. My father personally would go there compulsorily 3 Amavasyas in a year. The Annabhishekam in Rameshwaram, which happens after Deepavali, the Paurnami
Hmm.
after Deepavali, is a very touching experience.
Experience.
That small linga
Yes.
is packed up with cooked hot
Cooked hot
rice,
rice.
and a podlangai,
Mm.
a snake goat,
Yes.
is wrapped around
Around
him
them.
like
Yes, yes.
a janeyu.
Yes.
And after that, it is systematically removed, and some parts are fed to people, some others are fed to fish and other.
Correct. Yes.
But the one which goes near his kanta is not
Not given to
distributed.
anybody. Yes.
So that is spiritually
Very,
very
yes.
energizing. I similarly feel very strongly and spiritually connected with Gaya again, where you go for Pindadan, Mahavishnu Pada,
Yes.
Kamakshi temple in Kanchipuram, Sri Chakra, Adi Shankara Stapakam Pannadu,
Yes.
and way, the majesty with which she sits,
It's there. Yes.
and her very merciful eyes which
Yes.
look at you. It's as though as if she's sitting and waiting, saying, "You've come, come, I'm waiting for you. Take my blessing." And so with Mukambika, and so with Udupi Sri Krishna. So I will definitely touch upon these Tirumala, Rameshwaram, Kanchipuram,
Kanchipuram.
Udupi. Spiritually very touching.
Ma'am, which is the sweetest sounding South Indian language according to you?
Oh, see, it's like Bharatiyar, no, Subramanya Bharati. He would say Sundara Telugu, but Tamil Mori Pol Inidavade Ingum Kanum. So I would say that. But even as I say that, Malayalam is so rich, it says so much. Kannada, amazing. The strength of this language is amazing. I love
Right.
Kannada. Look at the Dasa Sankirtana,
Correct.
how it conveys so much to you. With all this said, I love Tulu also. It carries with it richness of its culture.
Correct.
So South India is so blessed. So many
Yes,
beautiful languages.
What was your Deepavali like when you were growing up? Do you
Fun, great joy. My father was a fancy pataka person.
Oh, wow.
Patasuna patas, veedu muzhukka irukum patas. And for us, it was just such a job that we used to dry it up in the sun, pack it up in newspapers, keep it ready for Deepavali, and early morning rush out. For us, it is Naraka Chaturdashi and not Deepavali like in the north. Oh, what kind of patakas I would have had in my childhood. I didn't hesitate. There were boys in my street who would do it. Didn't matter to me. I would go and play with them. Whose Lakshmivadi is going for long? My Deepavalis were great fun.
and it brings back so many stories from Ramayana. Is there one character that you personally connect with or you get inspired by?
In Ramayana,
Yes, ma'am.
I admire Sita a lot, but the character I adore is Sri Rama. I think his struggle to remain Dharma follower. People reminded him every now and then that he is God. For instance, when Sita was to do the Agni Pariksha, Devas and all of them came to say, "But you're Purushottama Rama, Mahavishnu Avatar." There I am, Dasharatha Putra. Wanted to be a human. And being a human, the conflicts that he had to face. Because you asked Ramayana, I'm saying. But if you ask me, my biggest hero is Sri Krishna. Because he has not had one day of peace in his life. He has not had one day of, I can rejoice at something which I've done well or succeeded in doing well. Sri Krishna knew he was God, did some miracles, but also underwent a lot of trouble. So life was not easy for them, both.
Right.
One who was God but human life, another who was God who knew he was God but he was among us. But both of them have so much lessons to offer us.
Ma'am, we love your handloom sari collection, and we know that you've always supported the Indian textile heritage. Is it true that during the budget presentation every year, you wear a sari that symbolizes something?
Yes, I deliberately choose from some area a handloom because it's February and Delhi still is cold.
Yes.
So I choose a silk. But although this time I did break it by wearing a cotton Mithila painting sari. But normally I choose a silk, handloom,
Handloom sari.
never anything else. And I choose to showcase heritage which it carries and the story that it tells, not just that particular sari.
Sari, yes.
And that particular sari can also say a story.
Yes, okay.
So I do put some time to think about which can be used.
That's lovely, ma'am. Very thoughtful.
That's an advantage being a woman.
Yes. So, ma'am, there is this trend, ready-made saris, where it's pre-stitched.
Yes.
Would you ever try it, ma'am? No?
I think the idea of a sari
Yes.
is where you give yourself a wrap which suits the way you want to carry yourself.
Yourself.
And some people would, let's say, wear it in a one fashion, not the way in which your pleats appear or not the way you put your pallu, but the way you wear it in such a way that you can do your day's work without having to
Worry too much
constantly
about it moving
Yes.
away.
So each one showcases her personality, even in the way in which they wrap their saris. So no, ready-made doesn't do
Very
good.
beautifully said, ma'am.
Ma'am, you have explored South India all the way from Madurai to Hampi. Is there any one landscape that feels like home to you?
No, I was saying this morning when I was driving from Vijayanagara to Koppal, it reminds me of my drive in Tanjavur district. As I was approaching here, it looked somewhat like Pudukkottai. Actually, thanks to my father and mother, we've gone quite a lot, visiting places, visiting temples, and so on. That's what reminds me of these places here. So much common.
Ma'am, if you had to pack three things to survive on an island, the things that you can't live without, what would they be?
Music. So I'll need my iPad with or without my earphones. The other is at least some book. I'll have my selections. The current one which I'm reading is Marcus Aurelius, Meditations.
Okay.
Srinivasa Sastri's lectures on Ramayana. Something light would be to read about, let's say, the Japanese and their
Oh, wow,
ways of
ma'am.
living. I've been ardently following up books which come on Japan. Recently, there was one of the shortest history of Japan, which has come out.
Okay.
And Pico Iyer has written a book on the Japanese and their how to understand Japanese.
And since we are in Hampi, the land where Purandaradasa once created timeless Carnatic music, what does this place mean to you and what does his music mean to you?
This place means so much more for me. Purandaradasa is a bit after that. That's not to say that Purandaradasa is not important. He's important in so many different ways for me. But this space on its own, inside me I weep. What heights we reached, we as India. Happy demonstration of what we are. This is not at the cost of somebody else. We've created life in so many different forms, and through which we also cultivated our music, our literature, and trading, and so many things here. I've gone to Rome, historical monuments, and so on, with a great sense of awe. But one Vijayanagara is enough to compete with them easily. So this place has so much of, it brings in so many different hues and colors of emotion in me. But that aside, Purandaradasa, amazing. Every one of his kirtana just makes me think that he always spoke to God directly, to Krishna directly, and he could convey.
Right.
So
Ma'am, you have always spoken about your love for Carnatic music. So, is there any kirtanai or ragam that truly deeply moves you?
so many.
Can you name one, ma'am?
Well, each one of them, even Tyagaraja, so many of his songs. Again, going back to my recent visit to Ayodhya, I narrated also how Tyagaraja says, Nidhi Chala Sukama. That song tells you his attitude towards his bhakti. And he may suffer in the sense of a mundane living. Ramudu Seva was always on the top of his mind. The young generation artists are today reviving a lot of these songs. You asked me the question beginning Purandara, but I will also speak of Shama Sastri.
The Carnatic
This-
Trinity.
What? He looks at Amba and sings. He actually says, this is the time, Nanu Palunchu. You're my mother. How can you just ignore me? So most of them were, because of the word Sul Nayam, were able to draw that literal emotion from you outside. So it's not one song, it's not another. Every song of these people.
Ma'am, that brings me back to the same question. The Carnatic Trinity, Tyagaraja, Muthuswami Dikshitar, and Shyama Sastri. Each has their own bhava. If you would like to rate their compositions from 1 to 3.
111.
1.
Because Muthuswami Dikshitar, Meenakshi Memudam Dehi, Mokshadaini. These are not simple small words. It carries so much. So, musical mastery is one thing. For me, I'm no musician. I'm a consumer of music in a way, if I have to put it in Kochaya. So Dikshitar again for all those, and I also like the way he brings in geography, history,
Correct.
and the element of tourism into it.
Right.
But the Navavarana Kirtana, Navaratri is just gone, and the piece in Sahana is my favorite.
Oh.
So Muthuswami Dikshitar, I have my list to say which one is good. Suvatyagraja, I have my list to say which are the ones which I love. Shyama Sastri, of course. So there's just no way in which I can list any. Depends on that day's mood I listen. It recharges me. There are times I just well up, but that refreshes me. So
Ma'am, if you need to unwind after a long day at work, what kind of music do you listen to?
music, classical. I listen to Hindustani also.
Do you have any favorite Hindustani
Singer,
Yes, ma'am.
I listen to all of them. We are in Karnataka. I have come from Dharwad. Lots of musicians have come from Dharwad. Shruti Sadolikar, Kale, Mahesh Kale. Amazing if he sings
Yes.
Vittala Sangeeta. One particular song, Vittala Vittala. Scale he can go. So I enjoy all of them.
Ma'am, you often speak of South Indian heritage as something to be experienced. Is there a book that shaped your sense of culture?
If you look at it, there is a book on Adi Shankara by Shankara Narayana. Says so much about his life and the stories you can take from there for your molding your today's life. Vayyapuri Pillai, who writes on Tamil literature. I certainly have read in detail Tamil Tata, Uwe Swaminatha Iyer's 2 books about Vedic gods in Tamil Nadu. ஒவ்வொரு திணைக்கும் எந்த கடவுள் அப்போ இருந்தாருன்றது. Similarly, his book on a particular king whose life was a particular way in the 50 republics which were there in the Ganga basin. அந்த கதையை எடுத்துட்டு வந்து தமிழ்நாட்டில் அந்த சங்க காலத்தில் யாரோ எழுதியிருந்திருக்கா. அதை உவே சுவாமிநாதையர் had rewritten. உதயணன் வரலாறு. I've read it, but every time it brings so many different questions in my mind. So classical reading, these are the ones. But today's readings are largely in English. But recently I read a book on 2 things which is very interesting. One tracks the route of Kovalan and Kannagi coming to Madurai from Pumpuhar. Amazing. And similarly, somebody who's written a book on Kallalagar. கள்ளழகரோட கோவிலை பற்றி அதோட ஹிஸ்ட்ரி பற்றி யார் கள்ளழகர். I read a lot of Kambaramayana. Parts of it are amazing in the way in which Kamban has described the scenes. That's one thing. I have a good collection of Kambaramayana books at home.
So, ma'am, this is a rapid fire round. Are you ready, ma'am? Shall we start? Okay. Curd rice or tamarind rice?
Curd rice.
Idli vada or pongal?
Pongal.
Filter coffee or masala chai?
Filter coffee.
If you weren't in public service, what would you be doing?
In the courts, being a lawyer.
Oh, yes. Okay. Kanchipuram or Pochampalli?
Both.
And when was the last time you took a holiday, ma'am? And where to? A leisure holiday?
No leisure holiday in the last 10 years.
Okay.
But on work, I also break like this.
Yes.
This itself is
like a holiday.
Good holiday.
Ma'am, one raga that instantly lifts your mood.
Sahana.
One book that changed how you see life.
A good reading of the Gita by Dayananda Saraswati.
Do you prefer reading in Tamil, Telugu or English?
Tamil and English in that order.
One Tamil song you know by heart.
Oh, I have many which I can sing by heart.
Can you sing one for us, ma'am?
Oh, I can't sing at all. Well, for that matter, start with Vinayak only. Vinayakane, Vinay Tirpamane, Veda Muguttavane, Jnana Mudalvane, Gunanidhi.
And finally, what does being in the mood for South really mean to you personally?
It's given me an opportunity to talk to you about everything that I cherish, I value.
Thank you, ma'am.
Although, of course, I could have been mentally so prepared to recall several other things which I do. So talking to you all gives me an opportunity to recall all that I cherish.
Thank you, ma'am.
Gives me a lot of energy to continue.
Right, it's our pleasure, ma'am.
You're welcome.